got an underground basement that is 5 feet below the road. Now that, I mean, that carport, that's the stupidest thing I've ever seen, but.
He's the only one with a basement that I'm aware of in a flood zone that's 5 feet below the grade.
I can imagine, but anyway, he just wanted me to be aware of that, and that, you know, he felt like the road would be raised up. I said, I think it probably will go back to exactly the same level as it always has been.
Yeah.
I think he needs some assurance, and I don't think he really feels that that's going to happen, so.
No, I'm aware of it, he's reached out, we'll take care of it, we're not gonna create, I mean, I can't solve 100% of the situations he has underground, but we'll definitely make it the best situation that we can, and I'm pretty sure when it's said and done, he's probably gonna be better off than it currently is. And, you know, one of the things that is happening is the center line of the profile is actually gonna be dropped down a little bit in there, so it actually will create a little bit more capacity for water in the street than it currently does, so it will remedy and help the situation for sure.
Thanks, BJ.
Okay, thank you guys.
City building official?
No, bear with me. I've been sick all week, but today's my first day back. For the month of, we've issued 25 permits within the last month of June. 15 for the city and 10 for the county. Still got Brad coming in for plan reviews, finding of facts and commercial inspections. With the number of inspections that's been going on so far, it's been very difficult for me to schedule my residential certification test. I do plan to take it this month. And then I have also decided following that, if I do pass, I'm gonna get my certification on the plans examiner certification, followed by this commercial certification.
We have the report late if you don't want to read off.
I'm just saying, but anyway, if you have any other questions, that's pretty much it.
Okay, any questions? Thank you.
You're welcome.
Probably should. With that, I'm going to turn item 8 over to the Mayor Pro Tem for the foundation report. We're on item 8,
Right.
NNRY Foundation. I have a conflict, so I've got to turn it over to you. I don't believe Mark Bassett is here for the report tonight. He'll be in later, is that?
Right.
Well, we'll wait on that.
He's going to, if there's a situation with one of the locomotives, he'll be in as soon as possible.
Okay, so we'll postpone that until Mark Bassett gets here.
Okay. I thought you wanted me to say this.
That's okay.
I apologize.
No heads up, you just get thrown in the deep end.
Yeah.
Item 9, reports. We'll start with City Council, Councilman Plank.
Yes, I'd like to report the compliments, the wonderful work that was done over the weekend of the 4th of July, and tremendous amount of other towns that were within our community. Somebody said that they figured there was 8,000 people on Main Street watching the parade. Now, our population in the county is less than that, so they had to come from somewhere. There was a lot of activity going on, and it was really great and whatnot. But one thing still troubled me. Our community didn't look that good to our out-of-towners. And I think it's about time that we take a good look at what we can do to make our community look a lot better and try to improve the business factors within the city and get things moving a little bit better. It's depressing to hear from out-of-towners and a comment made that just sort of irritated me at the time was, what a beautiful surrounding in this little area that our community exists. And their comment was that we're so taken by the mountains around and everything else. And why did you build such a dirty little town in the midst of all that? So I think it's about time we realize that we better start doing something different with our community and improving it. Taking a look at some of the buildings that are not being used and who owns them and demand that they take care of it in the forefront or in the rear of it houses around their buildings, make it look a little bit better. The amount of people that came to the park to see the monument, which was spectacular. I have visited the actual monument in Washington DC, and it just tore me up to go through it again one more time, to be honest with you. But it was quite a weekend, and we should be very proud of what we did and all the people that worked on the parade, all the people that put floats in and whatnot. I think should be complimented. And that's my report.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Carson.
No report.
Councilman Spear.
I don't have any report.
Councilman Williams Harper. Councilwoman.
This time, thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. For my report, you have the items I've approved in there. I would also once again just like to congratulate everybody along with Councilman Flangus and certainly our Public Works and everybody else who volunteered on a weekend well pulled off. I mean, there was a lot of volunteerism. People showed up to clean up a lot of their stuff, and I know that it wasn't all cleaned up, but they certainly put in a Herculean effort there at the park with the grandstands and down by the bonfire and some other areas, and it was packed. Every restaurant and every venue I saw was well utilized, and we had a lot of people, including the Lieutenant Governor was in town. She toured the railroad and was in the parade with our Boys and Girls Club, which I thought was fantastic. Just had a lot of participation, a lot of support from the state and from local communities and from Ely and from alumni and from all sorts of people, and it was great to see. So, my report, we'll move on to item 10. The mayor will recess the regular city council meeting for a public hearing at 5:30 p.m. on the following topics. Item 1, council members discuss, city clerk McGee, city engineer Alberg, public hearing discussion only, consideration of citizens' comments regarding eligible activities the city of Ely should apply for under the state CDBG program. This is a public hearing. We'll take comments from the council and the public regarding this item. Did we receive any comments, my mayor?
No.
Okay.
CDBG is something that, annually comes out for different grants that are available or whatever. And so through this process, we have a public hearing to come and get input from the public of projects that somebody in the community may think that is viable for this type of funding and such. So the funding is available for many things. We've used our funding for a lot of our infrastructure improvements, sewer, water improvements. There's plenty of items that are available for dealing with blight, cleaning up some of these areas. CDBG is particularly available only in LMI areas, which is low to moderate income areas, and so it's not something that can be available anywhere within the community. It is limited to certain areas within the community. I don't know that we don't have an instant exhibit tonight exactly where those LMI areas, and so what we're trying to accomplish here is to get input of potential projects and something that the public may have. And then based on those projects, we can work through the process, kind of vet them out and see if we can't get them as far as approved, as far as being CDBG eligible to participate and apply for that funding. When the public comes in, we don't necessarily apply for all the funding based on that. But we'll go through and kind of vet them out, make sure that they're going to meet the requirements. And then at that point in time, we will come back for additional public comments for the projects. And ultimately, it is going to come back to a meeting that the council will vote on the top 2 projects to basically continue on and apply for that CDBG funding. So,
Is there any other parts of Murray Street that we can still grandfather in on that, or is that project done after the?
after this phase that we were just funded, it actually, is no longer, we're out of Murray Street at that point in time. So I think this is the end of our CDBG that we can grandfather in, because Murray isn't no longer in the LMI area, but because it started, they'd already funded some phases, they allowed us to continue on through those phases.
How big an area is it? You have to have, you be considered a low to medium income, like Lower Port, Central Ely, down there around the project we're looking at. I know we gotta have, it's gonna be close, because we are a pretty affluent community overall.
For sure. And I believe, Jennifer, she can correct me here, is I think some of our LMI areas are currently shifting and changing a little bit. And I believe that we are having rural water do some surveys to try to come back in. And you can do local surveys to redefine those LMI areas.
And we just need to get to the point of public hearing two, where there's some projects on the table that the council can discuss, and then I will give the assignment.
Yeah.
So they're not trying to survey the
The
entire.
whole community, yeah, so,
That
okay.
means too much, so.
Yeah.
All right. Is there any more discussion or comments from the public on this?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor, you need to include the 600 block of Parker Avenue on that. I want to remind you that I corrected the sewer problem on that street. Cost me over $3,000. That was your problem. I pay every month, yet you failed to take care of the problem. With interest, you guys owe me over $8,000. I need that money in case it happens again. And you need to correct this at the present time. It isn't that you don't know, and that is a low-income area down there. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll close the public hearing and reconvene the city council meeting on item 11, items for discussion and possible action of the Ely City Council as recommended by the Municipal Utility Board. Item 1, Councilman Allworth, discussion for possible action, acceptance of Tri-County Weed Control's proposal to the city of Ely for herbicide application on portions of the Georgetown Ranch leased by Ted Hagee. It says Snippleman grant funds require a 20% match to be provided by Ted Hagee, who is our lessee, in the amount of $1,000. It does look like they approved this.
They recommended approval at the utility board meeting this morning. I think it's a great idea. I'll move to approve.
Motion to approve, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second. Do we have any other further comments or discussion? I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item 2, board members, city attorney Manuela, discussion for possible action, renewal of lease of the golf course between the Ely Municipal Water and Sewer Department and White Pine County for 30 years.
Utility board also recommended approval this morning on this matter. There was some talk about a rate increase, but the county really does bear all the maintenance cost and burden of the golf course, so we didn't feel that. I don't think it's necessary.
No, and the 30-year agreement is just for what has been happening in the past. It's just an automatic.
Correct, yeah.
Did they pay all their fees?
Any questions from the board on this?
No, I agree with Kurt that what they said this morning, because, that golf course is a tremendous asset. I don't know, we were involved with it, but it was moved from a 9 to an 18 hole, and it's a shame that the greens are getting as dry as they are down there. So I think we need to redo it. We need to also, somehow, we've got to get some more water on that golf course. I don't know how we'll do it. Well, that's discussed in this lease. They can go in and redo their own well.
Well, I agree that's not to get off topic of the item, but just as by way of a quick report, the county, the golf course had been using the amount that's been allotted to them under their agreement. So hopefully. And we can certainly get you a copy of that public report because they've been taking those meter readings every day.
I haven't seen it, but it says in here, they actually have item 5, section 5 about it well.
And I think that would be the best thing for them.
Okay. Cool.
For this, was that a motion to approve?
I'll move to approve.
We have a second.
I have a second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 4-0. Item 3, board member, city engineer Alberg, discussion for possible action, acceptance and final change order approval of Murray Street Sewer Main Upgrade Project, Phase 1 and Phase 2, and they didn't have.
The utility board cannot vote on this matter due to a lack of a quorum from 2 abstentions.
I believe it's in your packet. I handed it out this morning, but I believe it's in your packet. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to close out this project, upgrade the sewer portion of the project. And so what we're bringing in front of you is a final change order to get approved and taken care of. They're currently finishing up, they're hoping to finish up tomorrow. They got several loads of material still to remove at the intersection of Murray and Mill right there. They said they're gonna clean them up, and then when they get done cleaning them up, the next couple of days here, they would come back and actually gravel that yard for the city.
Going around the booster station there?
Yeah, right around the booster station. When they get that all cleaned up, they said they'd come in and bring some gravel and stuff for the city there. And, we had a rainstorm the other day. I didn't realize it was such a big rainstorm because it didn't rain that hard at the office when I was there, but apparently it had a pretty good gusher. So there's a few things where there were some washouts around a couple of the water meters there. So they said as soon as they finish the cleanup, they'll come in and bring in some more material and get that all taken care of back around those water meters.
Has a punch list for this project been generated yet?
Yes, yeah, I think they're coming here, and so they're just finishing up the items now, and so what we're gonna do with the other item besides this little change order situation is the other little items of cleaning up different things we'll just take care of, and we hold the retention on their last payment, so they won't get any of that done until they finish up everything that we're asking them to do.
So there has been a walkthrough and there's a punch list that could be looked at.
Could be looked at from,
If I asked you for the punch list, is that something?
I don't have it in my thing, but back in the office, I'm pretty sure that Dave has a punch list on that thing right there. Because they've come back in, and that's what they say, we sat down and come over and come to an understanding of, hey, here's the deductions, here's the things we ran into, here's the days and times and everything else. And so so in front of you here is a change order they are over their time frame for the project. And so based on what they are with their time frame, they were basically 33 calendar days over their project deadline. But coming back in, there was some weather days that they dealt with. There was some other items on there that they had to add to a few services that had to be added on or whatever. They ran into a concrete vault. They had to come in and take care of a concrete vault. Different things were going on. So once we come in and add all the other days, the things that they ran into, there's a total of 9 days that we basically feel that we can grant them for additional work that they ran into. And so what I prepared in front of you here is 2 change orders to let the council come in and decide which one they would prefer to go with. One of them is if we just straight up did the 24 days of a penalty for their late fees based on calendar days. The other one in here is a few days shorter, which is 17 days, would be as if the city council decided to not penalize them for basically weekends and holidays during that time frame. And so their typical thing that they had declared at the beginning of the project was they was going to work 4 tenths. That was a question that was asked by one of the utility board members this morning, so I just passed that on.
I don't think they should be penalized for the weekends and holidays for sure. That puts it down to 82,000.
Yeah, and what it is right here, that's a deduction of the thing. So they're gonna, their bid was obviously higher, so they're gonna get paid 82,000 less than their bid amount, based on the things that we had in the project that we anticipated running into, and we surely did run into, but we didn't run into the full effect that we had expected or whatever. We just wanted to make sure that we had everything covered in the contract so that it would be in there. Hopefully we wouldn't have to have any change orders. And, in this situation, it came back as a credit back to the city or as a decrease to what we're paying to them.
I move to approve the change order for the reduction in the holidays and weekends.
If I may,
Okay.
I do agree with Councilman Spear. I don't think we need to penalize for the weekend. But with that being said, I do believe we're wrapping up the project for sure, but I think there is a few more testing that needs to be done and some reports that need to be compiled. I don't believe this needs to go in front of the utility board again, but I would like to table it to the next city council meeting after that's all done. Would that be a good answer?
No, it's just going to I don't have a problem with it, coming in and finalizing that situation. It's just a situation where I just say, hey, these little paperwork issues that we kind of talked is, we would just withhold it through their retention, that they would not be getting in there. So there's money that's going to be there that they're going to complete everything that they need to receive
Councilman Spear, if you withdraw your motion.
I'll withdraw my motion.
Okay, we have a motion to table.
And I'll make a motion to table.
And we have a second for that motion.
Second.
We'll give that one to the
Absolutely.
motion from Councilman Carson to table, second from Councilwoman Williams Parker. Any further discussion? All in favor of tabling? Any opposed? Table for next meeting.
Okay.
With that, that was Mr. Bassett walking, so we'll move back to item 8. You'll have to read item 8 since you're there. It's on page 3.
And our wife foundation report, please. Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for accommodating me. We had a little issue. We had a locomotive give up the ghost just before train time, so had to get that taken care of. So thank you for working with me. I think the important thing is our ridership in the month of June was 2,565 passengers. That is the largest June we've ever had, and it's actually the largest summer month we've ever had. It's a 186% increase over 2020, but we all know 2020. But more importantly, it's a 27% increase over 2019. And 2019 was a very good year for us. Year to date, we've carried over 5,300 passengers, and that's an increase of 6% over 2019. And one of the keys to our success is social media. We have 111,174 people who like our page, and we have 132,510 people who follow our page. And of course, we're aggressively posting and doing our own homegrown videos. This morning, I walked into the shop, and if you've been down to our shop, we have two shop cats, Dirt and DJ, and DJ is Dirt Jr. And I had the opportunity as I walked into the shop. Dirt Jr. was sitting on the running board of Locomotive 81. So snapped a picture, put it on our Facebook page at about 9 o'clock this morning. Since 9 o'clock this morning, we've reached 22,895 people because of the cat. The cat is more popular than the trains at times. And we had 1,600 reactions to it and 40 comments on our page. So in between the social media and the cats, we've had a very good year. The ridership so far for July is following the trend from June. I expect July to be a record month too. So we're really busy. That's all I have. Any questions at all? All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
We'll move back to item 12, items for discussion, possible action only with the City Council. We have the consent agenda. There are minutes from June 10th and bills from June 23rd and June 30th.
I mean, we need to abstain from the payment of, on June 23rd, the Julie Spirit, my wife. Bill paid.
Councilman Spear, need to abstain from that? His wife works in the city.
It would be proper.
Okay. So we have one abstention. Do I have a motion to approve both minutes and the bills?
I'll move to approve.
Do I have a second from Councilman Flangus? Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 3 with 1 abstention. Item B, old business. Item 1, Councilman Spear, discussion of possible action. Approval of the draft priority list for the City of Ely's American Rescue Plan funding. As the clerk mentioned, we finally did get paperwork for that. It is significantly more than I think the estimate has been provided. Right. So it's quite a bit, and I think we'll be able to do some real good in the community with that.
For the couple of scenes, I just break up that thing she gave us today about it. And I think I like to write this pretty well read out, except the horse races. I went through what we got printed off for this meeting, glad I got it. And the governor's letter, it looks like we can do a lot of stuff, small business, impacting essential workers and communities. And then under the House bill of that, it does say, on public health emergencies with respect to coronavirus disease, on negative economic impacts, including assistance to households, small businesses, and nonprofits, or to aid impact industries such as tourism, travel, and hospitality. But when we got here today, they give us some more pages on that. I don't know if special events are going to qualify from what I can find. Do you know? I mean,
Could you put your microphone?
well, my question is that everything I've read, and I printed everything off you guys sent us last week. I went through it all, including the House bill. And I don't see anywhere where special events, and simply give me today, I only got through about 8 pages of it right prior to the meeting. And I still don't see special events on there, so we want to list special events as often as on in case we can.
I think it would be good to keep special events on there, especially in case the first races, they were directly affected by.
They're not alone though. Probably the most impacted would be the Silver State Classic Car Race, where they had to cancel 2 races and they may have to maintain their insurance. So right now, their impact, total out of pocket with 0 revenue, was up almost $25,000. And the next one was the Great Basin Service Club, who had to pay for their insurance prior to 4th of July, and we canceled that parade. Well, they can't cancel the insurance, so they were just out almost $1,000 on their insurance and no events and no income. So I think.
I know it doesn't say nonprofit, I think they're eligible under, I mean, I know it says it says special events, but I think they're eligible under community nonprofit.
Yes.
That's
Impacted
kind of-
by the, and we can.
I think we need to get this prioritized,
Sure.
put the special events and the special events and not just list them, because there's going to be other ones going to be impacted as well. And then, we get the money in the bank and then we can start deciding. But I think our employees, where this list comes out right, where I just put it again, right there. Right now, I don't think I would change anything on this, the way it's prioritized down, with the exception of all special events on it instead of horse racing.
That being noted, I think I would encourage the council to table this at least one more time and maybe have some discussion on the next meeting on whether they would like to set up a committee to deal with this or do the budget or do something, because we're going to need more than a priority list. I think this is a great start, but I think that would be my recommendation. Would you agree?
I've moved the table.
Yes.
I have a motion to table this with the addition
Yes.
of special.
Well, we tabled it, we don't make the addition, do we?
Well, she's been taking, it's kind of an unofficial running list.
This is a living list.
Okay, all right.
Modifying after each meeting, so certainly the council can.
Okay.
So we have that motion from Councilman Spear. Do I have a second?
Also.
Second from Councilwoman Williams Harper. Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Let's see, I lost my spot here. We're on item 2, Mayor Robertson. Discussion for possible action, approval for mayor, city council members, and city clerk to attend the Nevada League of Cities and Municipalities 2021 Annual Conference, August 25th through 27th, 2021. We tabled this as we had vacancies and maybe any member would like to be considered to go. I would encourage all council members to go. It was a good experience 2 years ago when I went for the first time. They have some good information, and it's good to kind of get the temperature of what's going on in other cities our size around the state. There's not a lot of us, and it's for us to stick together. So, what's the council's pleasure on who would like to go to that?
Well, I think we should probably leave that open for us too, because you did budget for the council to go. So I think that, we get a little closer, maybe Dr. Williams Harper would like to go there, because it's definitely the Nevada League of Cities, and I was on the council 40 years ago. I enjoyed the heck out of it. So I'd like to see us approve any and all who wants to go and can go.
Would you like to table this until the next meeting?
I would. Well, I don't know, things can change between now and then. We only got a couple more meetings, so yeah, just one more take.
Okay. A motion to table for Councilman Spear. Do I have a second? Second from Councilman Flangus. Any further discussion? All in favor?
All right.
Any opposed? And